When you go shopping, how do you know what's healthy and what isn't? When you read the labels, how do you know what to buy? Whether or not this product or that product is going to help you be healthy. That's the subject of this series, and I'm going to start out. I'm going to give you some basic, easy to understand guidelines that will help get you started on picking the best food. And I want to start out by showing you the whole package and what the most important part of that package is. This is one of my favorite products, and I'm using this because it's big and easy to show up in the video. I wanted to explain to you that the majority of the package is advertising. And if you notice, it says on the front here, as a part of a heart-healthy diet, the soluble fiber in oatmeal helps reduce cholesterol. That is true. That is a good medical statement. I would, however, point out the reason that it says may help, where does it say? Can help reduce cholesterol is because if that is the only healthy thing you eat during the day, then it's not going to work miracles. It's not going to make up for the hamburger you eat later on in the day, or the ice cream, or all the other things. So anyway, this part is advertising. This part here, you just have the recipe, the date that it's expired. Those are important to an extent. I mean, especially the date when it's freshest. They may give the name of the company or the name of the product, the word healthy or organic, or some other word that implies that it's going to make you healthier. That is deceptive advertising, and you don't want to get caught up into that. There's ones that talk about that, their name will talk about losing weight. That's a product's name, not what it really can or can't do. There's some tricks that you need to understand. And I want to help you understand what to look for. Now, some people believe that the nutrition information, let's see, this, I think it's, yeah, here it is on the bottom. So you can see it, the little nutrition information that you see here, that gives you a lot of chemistry, but that nutrition information box really doesn't tell you what is in the box. That just tells you the chemistry of what's in the box. What you really want to look for is the word ingredients. Now, everything that's written after the word ingredients is what you're going to be looking at. That will tell you the most important subject. Now, on this package, the word ingredients is right here. It's usually underneath the nutrition facts. And just blind yourself to that little box of chemistry and only look at the words ingredients. Now, on some packages I have seen, they will actually put ingredients 2 times. And I've seen this once, I know of. They will put ingredients, and then they will put another ingredients list, which lists the vitamins and minerals that they've thrown in. And so you want to make sure they haven't done that, and you want to, if they have done that, you want to pay attention to that and realize that they have maybe manipulated the figures. On some of the healthiest stuff, the ingredients list is going to be a little bit hard to find, because it is so small. And let's see. This one has the nutrition information. This is Freekeh. It is a whole grain. It is the wheat that has been picked while it's in the milk stage. And on the side here is the nutrition information. It looks a little different from the usual box. I am looking for the ingredients. And because there is only one ingredient, that becomes very hard to find. Because the only ingredient in it is, let's see, green wheat Freekeh, pronounced Freekeh, is 100% Australian grown wheat. And so when you have something that only has one ingredient and it's just a plant, then you're probably not going to see an ingredients list because it's just one thing. Now, once you have found what is written after the word ingredients, you're 90% of the way there. Now remember, ignore all the advertising, only look at the word ingredients. Now I'm going to show you a sample of my first clue, and that is when the ingredients list is really long, such as this picture here. Now, as you can see, that's got a long list of ingredients. That is one of the first clues. If the box for the ingredients is as tall as it is wide, maybe more than 10 ingredients for sure, possibly 20 ingredients, and you're looking line after line after line, and it just seems like a huge list, that is your first clue. Make sure that it has few ingredients. Ideally, it should only maybe have less than 10. And the reason for that is the more ingredients, the more likely there is that the mixture is not going to agree very well with your stomach. And also it means that there's probably been some manipulation done, and we're going to talk about that a little more later. Now the next clue is, as you're looking at your list, ask yourself, can I pronounce that out loud? And you may find things like sodium glutamate or potassium sorbate 80 or some thing that looks like only a chemist with a PhD could ever pronounce it. And that right there is a clue that what you do is you take that thing, stick it back on the shelf, go to the next thing that interests you. Because if you can't pronounce it, you don't want to be putting it in your body. We'll be talking more about that too later. The next thing to look for is what that list consists of, those 10 or fewer things that are on there. And you want to check for things that are deceptively worded. One of the biggest ones is sugar. It is usually disguised as cane syrup, evaporated cane juice. That is one of the biggest ways of deceiving you, is to call it evaporated cane juice. That word really represents sugar because it's had all the fiber taken out of it. It is still going to cause health problems. Other things, anytime you see OSE on the end, like lactose, glucose, sucrose, all those oses, that is refined sugar, along with corn syrup, rice syrup, brown sugar. They come across as sounding healthy, but it's all just plain sugar. So you got to watch for that. Another thing is to look for enriched flour. Now the word enriched means it's had some vitamins thrown into it. So you want to watch for that. What words you want to see are whole grain. That is really high on the priority list. If it has grain in it, you want whole grain. You want it to have all the fiber, because the fiber and the bran, the bran and the germ in the grain hold most of the nutrition and the fiber that will maintain good health. Now wheat, years ago, they started processing it, and they would process out, it used to be called bolted flour. And what that meant was they removed the bran and the germ. And one big reason for that is because the germ especially would go rancid, it would go bad, and they wanted longer shelf life for their product. Their primary concern was not good health, it was just long shelf life, so that by the time you got it in your home, it was still good. And when you have whole grain products, this is an important subject. When you're dealing with whole grains, which is the healthiest, you are going to have to deal with the problem of spoiling. And if you bring home a loaf of bread that is a whole grain bread, if it's really whole grain, you want to either put it in the freezer until you're ready to use it, or refrigerate it. You don't want to leave it sitting out on the counter or in a bread box or something like that. It needs to be refrigerated. And that is good, because that means that when you eat it, it's going to be broken down. You're going to get the nutrition that you need, and it's actually a good sign. If it has a long shelf life, it's not going to do your body much good. Now, when it was enriched, I like to give this analogy that if I were to ask of you $50 and then I told you I'll give you $10 in return, and I say, okay, you're enriched, that's really what they're doing, because they take out a lot of vitamins and minerals. I mean, a lot. I don't know how many, but I understand there's something like 84 or more different things, plus all these, there's micronutrients, all kinds of stuff that God put into it. And man takes all that stuff out, feeds it to the cattle that they're going to feed someone with, and all that good nutrition so they can produce a healthy cow, they take away from us, and we end up malnourished. And so when you're buying things, make sure that they are whole, unrefined, and the less refining, the more healthy they're going to be for you. To make label reading really, really, really easy, just remember, first of all, if it comes from the plant kingdom and it's got no label at all, that's really the healthiest, because it came right off of a plant and it went straight from that plant to you. Ideally, that is the best label.